Hello and welcome to Strand Explains, a podcast where we discuss what's happening in the world of precision medicine, from weird case studies and interesting facts to interviews with leaders in the industry. I'm Sakshi Shingle, and today I'm joined by Nishi Gandha to discuss the Strand Iris 2.0 release. Nishi is a senior application scientist at Strand, where she heads multiple projects, acting as a project manager and business analyst. She joined Strand in 2014 after completing her MTech from IIT Bombay. Today, we've asked her to join us to discuss the recent release of Strand Iris 2.0, whose development she played a major role in. Hi, Nishi. How are you doing today?
Hey, Sakshi, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Thanks so much for getting to be a part of our podcast. I really appreciate it. I know you're super busy. And so it's really nice that you've taken the time out to come and talk to us about what it's like to be a business analyst or to, run that kind of role of project manager and business analyst. While we've had other scientists on the podcast, we've had people from different fields. We've even had a few salespeople. We haven't had a business analyst or project manager. And having spoken to you before, your role is so different and so fascinating. I thought it'd just be really cool to get to talk to you about it and talk to you about it maybe in the context of the Strand Iris 2.0, sorry, release that recently happened. But before that, maybe let's take a step back. And I just wanted to ask you how you came to join Strand. What was your experience like joining it, and what have you felt? How do you enjoy it? What do you like about working at Strand? That kind of stuff.
Hey, Sakshi, first thing that it's a pleasure to be here today on this podcast. And to answer your question, I joined Strand right after my master's from IIT Bombay, and it was part of a campus recruitment drive. So, yeah, this is my first job after my master's. And it has been more than 7 years since. And I can say that it has been quite a journey with a lot of learning and growth so far. What do I like about working in Strand? I think there are multiple things I like in Strand. I think Strand provides a healthy platform for innovation and ideas to thrive. And most of the time, you're working with such great minds around. You learn a lot from them. You assimilate a lot of things from them. And overall, you can see that the environment is such that you have an opportunity to build solutions that have a direct impact on the life of people. So yeah, I think there are a lot of things to like in Strand. Yeah.
That sounds great. Thanks so much, Nishi. And yeah, like you're saying, I think that definitely is one of the cool things about Strand is just having so many cool different people to talk to from different backgrounds with so many different domain expertise, and it really does let innovation and creativity thrive. Take for instance the product we're going to talk about today, Strand Iris. This somatic variant database that people use all over the world. So maybe can you talk about what it is and how it works?
Yes, sure, Sakshi. So the idea behind the creation of Strand Iris was to build a solution which could drastically change the turnaround times for somatic cancer reporting. And when we talk about somatic cancer reporting, we are essentially talking about finding the biomarkers which would have a therapeutic or prognostic impact on the patient. So Strand Iris was derived from a primary tertiary analysis software called Strandomics, and it completely automates the interpretation and reporting for somatic cancers. The USP of Strand Iris is that it is able to do so in under a minute. So, scalability wise, this is a game changer. And again, because you're getting the report under a minute, you know that it is almost instant. And when you are looking at the impact of early therapeutic intervention on the patient's outcome, then you know that Strand Iris is really creating a huge difference over here.
That's great to hear. Thanks so much. I think you did a much better job of explaining it. I've been trying to explain it to people for a few months now, like in just in my marketing efforts. And thank you so much for so concisely but very clearly explaining what it is. What led to version 2.0 coming out? What did this release bring out? What's different about it? What enhancements does it have? Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Sure. So we had launched version 1 of Strand Iris few years back, which could support interpretation and reporting for the SNPs and indels. And we received such tremendous positive feedback on version 1. And so the national course was to bring in support for other prevalent variant types in cancer, which are like copy numbers and fusions, which are seen quite a lot in cancers like non-small cell lung cancer, breast, etc. And also over the years, the landscape for somatic cancers has evolved, and with the approvals on the MSI status and TMB for recommending immunotherapy to the patients, so we decided to bring in support for reporting based on the results, TMB and MSI results as well. And so this is how the idea for 2.0 came about.
That's that makes sense. That's great. Can you maybe talk us through the development process when it comes to releasing new software through the lens, from the lens of a business analyst or a project manager? Basically, what was it like for you going through this development process of enhancing and bringing about standards 2.0? Because I know you were deeply involved in it.
Yes, so like any other software development lifecycle process, the first step is to define the scope of the release, which is about defining the features which would go into the release. So once you have defined the features which would go into in this particular release, then you get into detailing out those features. And for a scientific software like Strand Iris, a lot of effort goes into scoping out the features and getting the science behind it correct, because that is the crux of it, right? This is an automated tool, and so it is very important that it is accurate. So getting the science behind it is really important. And the I think the challenge is to first of all communicate the requirements to the developers, because as a biologist you speak a slightly different language than what the developers are used to. So you have to simplify it and then present it in a way that it is viable for development. And then I think for a software like Strand Iris, where there is so much complexity involved, there is a lot of effort which goes into uh, drawing the plan for validation. So you have to bring in all possible test cases. You have to think of each and every aspect of validation and make sure that it is fully validated. And that is challenging, right? You have to, when you are, so for example, if you are dealing with something like fusions, everyone knows that that is a complex thing to deal with. And there are multitude of factors regarding fusion. So yeah, that was slightly challenging, I would say.
Wow, that does sound like a lot of work to get in. And it kind of sounds like you were merging the two different sides of it from, and please excuse my misuse of industry jargon, possibly, but the customer needs versus the software capabilities, if those are the right words to use, but trying to meet those two up and find some kind of middle ground in terms of what is
Exactly.
needed and what is wanted and what is possible. So
Exactly.
that does sound quite tough. And was there any specific challenges in terms of creating an automated tool, and created something that is working? Yeah.
Definitely. So, when you are creating an automated tool, you are basically trying to eliminate any human intervention into it. So, typically, an interpreter would take a few hours to a day or so to interpret the variants and come up with a report, write up a report. But in this case, you are trying to just eliminate that altogether. So, as I said, that you have to be very, very thoughtful about all aspects of reporting. You have to validate it very, very well, because there is no one who would manually sit and see that, okay, you are trying to report on the right set of variants and this is the right content which is going into the report. So, all of that requires a lot of planning and validation effort. So, this is really challenging when you are creating an automated product versus when you are creating something where human or manual intervention is required. So, yes, this was challenging.
I can imagine. Thanks so much for explaining that, Nishi. It sounds like it's a fascinating project. And I mean, I've had the chance to talk to you in a different context in terms of what your day looks like, and the different projects you work on. And I mean, it sounds really fascinating, but also like a lot of work, just to say the least, in terms of how much you're juggling at all times. And I am definitely in awe of what you do. Um, One question I like to ask different people, different women, sorry, who I interview on this podcast is what your experience has been like working as a woman in STEM. Are there any challenges or hurdles that you faced that you'd be open to talking about? And what has it been like coming up? You mentioned that you did your master's at IIT, and then you came here to Strand. Are there any, what has that whole experience been like for you?
So my experience so far has been really, really great. My parents were always very supportive of my choices, and fortunately, all along I've been in the presence of really supportive mentors and guides. And even in IIT Bombay, I did my master's under a female professor who was such an inspiration. I drawed a lot of inspiration from her. And I would say that overall, I've seen a lot of inclusivity of women in STEM, which is a very good sign for future. And I hope this trend continues and more women continue take career choices in this field. And yeah, I think so far it has been really really good for me.
That's great to hear. And yeah, I think, like you're saying, it is becoming a more accepted thing for women to choose to do careers in STEM, but also just to have the space to be a woman in STEM, even in an Indian context where sometimes you don't always see that happening. And I think that way, kudos to the Strand culture, at least from what I've seen. Although I don't currently work in a science role, I definitely see a lot of women scientists, and it is very exciting to see so many people in this space. So I think we can end over there. Thanks so much for being on the podcast also. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully we can see you again soon.
Thank you, Sakshi.